Hey everybody, welcome back. Another week of the show. Thanks for joining us. I'm John Swicky, and we're going to go through kind of a couple of the interesting things we found this week, some of the things we're playing around with, and just some cool kind of things we stumbled upon. So I thought this week we'd kick it off with some Bard updates. So a couple of days ago, Bard started adding location information into some of their searches. So definitely going to be able to use this for more local search stuff. So that's pretty promising. But with, keeping in mind that they still label this an experiment. So I just asked it, can you find me somewhere for an oil change, right? Pretty common result. And the first results back that we got were basically linking to something in Colorado, and I am not in Colorado. So definitely, the location stuff's not firing on all cylinders just yet, but you can see the potential here. A really nice, 3 local searches, gives you some information about oil changes. The photos are a nice touch. I think they added this about a week ago. Actually, this is something I never do here, but let's see if... Okay, so inside of the draft, so, in Bard, they give you kind of 3... Okay, these are all pretty much... All right, one of these URLs has Houston in it, so it definitely doesn't know where I am. And I did not specify where I was either, so to give it credit there. Now we got some more Wikipedia searches, so let's do a... All right, so actually let's copy this, and actually let's just say the term that any SEO kind of hates. Let's do near me. So same query, but actually saying near me. Let's see if I need to be more explicit with the search. This is... Okay, again, we got national searches. It looks like I got Massachusetts in one. So still not hitting the right state. These are national chains. But, I think more than anything, it's an interesting change. It's a little something, too, that, it's a feature that makes it kind of stick out from, ChatGPT, because this is something they really, I think they're going to really struggle to do. Google's local database maps and all the places information that they have is pretty robust. So I think in the long run, this could be some pretty interesting features coming up. Okay, so next up, we're going to go through a ChatGPT plugin. Early on, I would say the plugins, there was a lot. I didn't really know what to do with some of them. Some of them were pretty straightforward. But in getting ready for this, actually, I stumbled across this one, and I thought this was kind of cool. So what we have here is a plugin called Show Me. So my prompt was just show me how a CSS file works. And basically, it started showing kind of how the web browser kind of does its thing, right? Parses some HTML files, parses some CSS, builds the DOM tree, applies the CSS, renders the page, right? So it's kind of cool. And they also allow you to edit the diagram that it creates. So it generates a link. And let's see what happens. Gonna load. All right, so we got gonna load a Mermaid editor. So Mermaid is a way to load basically flowcharts inside of Markdown files. So you can see here, I'm not too familiar with Mermaid, but you can see it'd be pretty easy to just, kind of go in here and we could delete files. We could change it to website. And did that do anything? Oh, yeah, already changed. And we have an option to save this. So kind of cool. Again, I just recently I started playing around with the plugins a little bit more. So we'll see what kind of interesting things come out of them. Hopefully keep getting people providing interesting experiences in there. So that's the Show Me plugin. So they actually added search now to the ChatGPT plugin store. So you can just type in Show Me if you guys want to play around with this for your charts and your charting needs. All right. So let's go on over to Poe. So Poe.com is, I think we talked about this in the past. It's a site owned and run by Quora, but they do a really good job of letting you test out on their app some of the different language models and giving you access to some stuff that would rather otherwise be kind of hard to come by. So they now have kind of a Explore Bot, Create a Bot kind of section. And one thing is somebody made a Midjourney bot, which allows you to help the bot basically helps you write better Midjourney prompts. So we can just try one out here and see what happens. So a beautiful house in Miami. I'm spelling Miami wrong. There we go. Fresh after a storm. And you can see in the distance and a kid with a rain jacket in the front yard. So it really takes your prompt and really expands upon it. So it took mine from what we just read to color photo of a beautiful house in Miami fresh after a storm, and you can see the storm in the distance and a kid with a jacket in the front yard. The house is a pastel blue with a white trim. A red brick walkway leads up to the front door. Spanish moss hangs from the tree. The air is humid. The sky is a mix of blues and grays. The mood is serene with a hint of unease. Oh man, I like that. Wow. A Canon EOS R camera is used with Kodak Portra 800 film in a 500mm lens, directed by Sofia Coppola, cinematography by Roger Deakins, and photography by Annie Leibovitz, fashion design by Marc Jacobs, and a couple other little like acronyms. I have no idea what these are. So I gotta imagine that this is going to be way better of a photo than the one I prompted, and I can't wait to try these out. And we'll maybe do another deep dive with Midjourney at another time. But it's so cool now how like just something like this can kind of expand upon your vision. It can kind of breathe new life into it, and you can really start to see how deep your prompting has to go, and what are some of the little things you can kind of add or subtract into them to get kind of really creative with it, right? It just shows the possibilities, which I think gets me excited. So that's on Poe. So Poe.com, I think it's free to sign up. They have a paid version, which allows you access to, I think, more access to GPT-4 and Claude Plus and things like that. But definitely worth checking out. The mobile app's pretty good. And they have these other little user-made bots, which is pretty cool. So it's a cool platform. So I definitely would recommend a download for anybody who wants to try that out. And all right, finally, we've got a little app I stumbled upon, actually on Twitter, just a really interesting way to kind of use AI and to kind of make it, could make it part of your workflow. So yesterday, I just tried this out, so I haven't been able to go on too deep. I literally just tried this out yesterday, but I got really, really excited about it. So if anyone does audio notes and voice memos, things like that, this is something that you might want to take a look at and keep an eye on. So this is Audiopen.ai, and we'll link everything up in the show notes, of course. So Audiopen.ai claims they are the easiest way to convert messy thoughts into clear text. So what you do is you actually say some stuff, you record some stuff into the app, and it'll kind of attempt to give it some structure and give it some, some kind of, flow. So this was something I just recorded, streamlining life with chat-based organization. I've been considering using chat to better manage my life, and it's currently it's just kind of a weird, random idea I had while walking, and it gave it, it really, most of these were my words, but it gave it some sentence structure, it gave it some flow, it kind of gave it an order, and we can kind of hit this view original transcript button. You can kind of just see it's just been kind of like a brain dump, right? So pretty cool. They don't have a web. It's all a web app at the moment, so there's nothing to download, and they have some premium features, which I think, for some of the premium features, if it's something you do use, are pretty cool, especially longer recordings, things of that nature. Whoop. All right. So, all right, let's just kill the page here. Yeah, so it's Audiopen.ai. They're doing some really interesting things. Definitely worth checking out, and I think you guys would enjoy it. So, I think that'll be it for this week. Thank you guys for all stopping by. Just a couple of tasty little snacks that we've been playing with. I'm really excited about the Audiopen. I do like taking voice notes, so it's cool to have this as another little tool, a little quality of life improvement. And thank you all. And please, like I said, we'll pop the links in the show notes. And we will see everybody next week. Thanks, everybody.